Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center. And we've got some cool new stuff to show you today. I've actually got Craig and Dylan from Tops on the line. They're here to show us a few new prototypes. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. How about you?
Doing really well. I'm really excited to have these knives here in front of me. Sorry we didn't get to catch up during Blade Show week itself, but it's the magic of the internet. We can just keep the show rolling.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yep.
So what do we have here? What do you want to show us first?
So we've got two knives that are actually that we debuted at SHOT Show that are going to be releasing very soon, depending on when this video comes out, probably within a couple of weeks of that. The first one that I want to show is called the Trail Seeker. So this is every year for the last, what is it, 4 years now?
4. Yep.
For the last 4 years now, we've done an employee design contest where we've allowed one of our employees to design a knife, and we put it into production. We give them the credit as the designer. It's actually been a really cool thing for us to have employees get involved in that part of it, because in a production knife company, not everybody that works here is a knife maker. Most of them know how to do this part or that part, but not the whole thing. And so to get them involved kind of in the entire process of design, prototype, all the way to the finished product has been really, really good for the employees to see that, and really good for them to be involved in it, because when they go to work and do their normal job, they're just that much better at it, because there's that much more pride in what they do. So anyway, point being, this is our fourth employee design contest knife. This the parameters we set for this contest was just design a knife that you would use. We didn't ask for a specific type. We didn't ask for anything. Just design something you would use.
Yeah, no length restrictions, no certain category over the next. Just whatever you want to use yourself and feel would be a great attribute to the company.
Yeah, and so the guy that won this, his name is Luis Murillo, and he's actually does a lot of our kydex and does a lot of our stainless steel heat treat, and knows actually a whole bunch of other stuff, but that's what he's doing now. So he designed this as kind of what he would use as an everyday kind of more like a camp EDC for him, something he would take anywhere he's going to go out of town. It's about a 4.5 inch blade, black G10 or black traction coating, green canvas micarta. It's going to be a kydex sheath. Really just a solid design. It's got that nice kind of a clip point. Everything about this is just comfortable. It's the right size to do just about anything, and it's going to be really strong, a really quality knife to be taken out, whether you're camping or whether you're a military guy. This will be the kind of knife for you.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, that 4.5 inch or thereabouts length is a really good controllable size. You got 1095 here, I'm assuming?
Correct.
And about 5/32 of an inch thick, so plenty strong, certainly for any of those camp tasks or heavier duty kind of utility things. It's interesting you mentioned military. I guess I could see this taking the place of like the Mark I or something like that, being a little bit more robust.
Yeah, definitely. It's got the strength built into it. Plus, it's got a nice pointy tip for in case somebody
putting
needs
holes
to
in
use
things.
that. Yep. And it's got a pretty good finger guard as well for that kind of activity. So,
yeah. What I like about that finger guard there specifically is it does offer you some protection, but it's not. It does two things I like. One, it doesn't pinch at all because it is a little bit on the gentler side. But it also lets you sometimes a guard can keep your hand a good bit away from the working edge of the knife itself. But with this, you can still get right up there on the edge for those just fine, camp whittling, carving, that sort of thing. You're right where you want to be.
Yep. Absolutely.
Very nice. And it's going to come with these bits of traction here on the micarta.
Correct. Yeah. The way we finish our micarta, we don't like polished micarta. It kind of defeats the purpose of having it be grippy when wet. And so we kind of like that rougher finish on it. Plus the X's in the handle is kind of our shtick. That's our thing.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great working design, good size. What's MSRP you're targeting for this?
I haven't finished pricing this out entirely, but my guess is that full MSRP is going to be around 200,
Okay.
maybe a little bit less.
So, and of course, folks know MSRP and street price are going to be a little bit different. So if you want an idea of what
Yes, they
for
will.
the folks out there watching, if you want an idea on the street price, you can check some other Tops products that have an MSRP around that, and it'll get you in the ballpark.
There you go.
But yeah, great solid all-around design for taking just about anywhere off the beaten path, I think.
Agreed.
Very cool. Good. We're talking about kind of the good nimble size on this. The next knife is actually sort of on the other end of the spectrum, though.
That it is. I'm going to let Dylan go ahead and introduce this one.
So here we have the Storm Vector, sort of a Viking seax-esque style chopper, machete, however you want to classify it. We've got our black linen micarta scales with the blue G10 liners, something we've kind of new for some of the models we debuted this year. We're at, I believe, a quarter thick.
Yep.
We're 1095. We've got.
And you've got the acid washed finish on this one rather than a coating.
Correct.
Yeah,
It'll still have a clear Cerakote because it is 1095. So we'll still have that clear coat on there to protect as much as we can. But pretty fun blade. I'm excited for it personally.
Yeah, I kind of kept that. The blade itself, I think, really keeps that traditional seax design
For sure.
with the broken tip, that really sharp point to the tip. Pretty straight blade profile. The handle is kind of where we did the Tops thing on it. That's where this was designed by Leo. He's actually done quite a few traditional designs now where part of it's traditional and part of it's Tops. And so the handle is really the Tops handle.
Yeah.
It's got those X's that we were talking about on the other knife as well. It's got that just that good ergonomic shape. It's kinked a little bit, which I think most traditional saxes aren't. So it's got for us, the ergonomics just feel really good on this one. It's going to be a great chopper. One of the things that we've done from the prototype at SHOT Show and the ones that we've been testing and playing around with is we've bolstered the tip a little bit. There's a little bit more meat behind that than there was on the ones we sent to SHOT Show. So, I wouldn't be out there doing tip tests with this and trying to bust it off because it's a very fine point.
I mean, that's the point of the sax. You are going to get that almost needle point. But especially if you were to kind of throw a lanyard on the back here around your arm, you could get right up there and do some really fine stuff with this as long as that weight was supported back there.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty cool. It's another one of those traditional designs that we've taken and just kind of run with and done our own thing with. So this one's going to be this one I think will end up in my truck.
Yeah.
Maybe not this one in particular, but this design.
Oh yeah, no, this would be a great truck knife for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I like the bit of the the widening blade here towards the front. You're going to get a little bit more weight out there. I think the angle between the blade and the handle sits at a real good spot for that. And I like the handle too. It is quite comfortable. I see a little bit of kukri shape in there, just a little bit here at the back, but you got that nice swell to kind of give you some good retention when really putting this thing to use in anger, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah, very nice. Very cool design. MSRP on this one?
I would imagine we're it again not totally finished. I would say we're under 300. We're probably in the 260 to 280 range.
Okay, right on. And what kind of length are we working with here? I didn't measure. What kind of reach do you have on this knife?
I think we're looking at about 9-10 inches.
Yeah, it's a monster.
I don't have anything here to measure with either, but I think we're looking about 9-10 inch blade.
Yeah, feels a little longer to me. I don't know. Maybe we'll
I think
find a
it's
ruler
longer.
later and we'll put a graphic up or something.
Yeah, that's perfect. It may actually be closer to a foot.
Plenty of reach though. That's the moral of the story. Plenty of reach. You got that fine
Yep.
tip. Like I said, you can make it work on those finer things if you need it to. But mostly, pull this out of the sheath and you're gonna smile and have some fun, I think.
Definitely. It's one of those that you look at it and you're just like, yep, that looks like fun.
Awesome. Very cool. All right, I've got one more question for you guys. We were asking everyone this question during our Blade Show week. And since this is sort of our Blade Show extended coverage here, I'm going to pose the question to you guys as well. So for the folks out there that may have not tried a Tops knife before, tell us what makes Tops special and why they should be checking out a Tops knife now.
Yeah, so there's many reasons. I would say a couple of the most important is we make our stuff in America. I think especially when you're dealing with things that are happening in our country, like right now, American made is the way to go. Everything is made right here in Idaho. We have 2 buildings that are about 10 minutes apart from each other, and we make everything start to finish right here. So that's first. It's American made by a company that's proud to do that. And second, there's a lot of people out there talking about this knife steel and that knife steel and all these fancy things, and then here's Tops using 1095. The reason we use 1095 is because we know how to work it. And what makes a knife, and a lot of custom makers will attest to this when you hear them talk about knives, what gives the knife its soul is the heat treat. Once you heat treat that knife, now it's a knife. And that's one thing that we do excellent with our 1095. We do a differential heat treat, so you end up with an edge that'll stay sharp and a spine that's a little bit softer to handle a little more abuse. So we make not just knives in America, but we make quality products that have a differential heat treat, which is not something that a lot of production companies are able to pull off. So those are probably the 2 main things. Any?
Oh, just to add to the second point you were talking about, being a production company, there's still a very, very large part of our process that's hand finished. So there's a lot of care and human touch that goes into each and every knife. The X's that we were talking about on all the handles, those are done by hand. We heat treat by hand. We sharpen by hand. We don't use jigs or guides when we sharpen it. Everything's done and finished by hand. So I feel there's a lot more that goes into it on that personal touch, which also allows for better quality control in the end. And it's just we're putting out custom quality on a production scale, and it's pretty awesome to see the whole process.
Fantastic. That's awesome. I'll throw my thoughts in on 1095. Steels like that, 01, that sort of thing. They may not be the quote unquote latest and greatest, but it's that old farm truck that never quits.
Absolutely.
That's the way. It just keeps on working and getting the job done day in and day out. All right, guys. Well,
Agreed.
Thank you so much for coming on and showing us these things. I see you've got that signage there behind you, Tops Daily Grind. That's your guys' podcast. If you folks haven't checked that out yet, I encourage you to do so. There's some cool conversation going on there. Follow them on Instagram.
Watch for language.
I'm sorry?
I said watch for language. Everything we do is pretty family friendly, except the podcast.
Trigger.
So if you're going to be offended by language, do not listen. Otherwise, we have a good time.
Yes.
Great. Excellent, guys. Thanks so much. Folks, make sure to let us know down in the comments what you thought of these knives. And if you want to see the latest from Tops, we're going to leave a link in the description where you can see their latest and greatest over at KnifeCenter.com. And look for these knives to be coming up in just the next couple of weeks. Guys, thanks so much for spending time with us today.
Thanks, guys.